Imagine there are two mirrors in front of you. One reflects how you want to see yourself, and the other reflects who you truly are. By a show of hands, how many of you would choose to look into the first mirror? And how many of you would choose to look in the second? Okay. When I first asked this question to my peers, they all answered what they would rather want to see themselves as a fake, in their eyes, perfect version of themselves. And that got me thinking that we don't come to terms with who we truly are because we so avoid the negative. The second mirror is called truth, and the first mirror is called self-perception. Self-perception is like a mirror that constantly reflects who you are. It's how you perceive yourself based on your thoughts, actions, and interactions with the world around you. It's a dynamic process, much like looking in your reflection in windows as you walk. That reflection of yourself is how you perceive yourself in that moment. Some days, when you look in the mirror, you might find yourself looking better than usual. Other days, you might be the most alarming creatures in the jungle. Now, how does this happen if the mirror we look at ourselves in remains the same? How can we sometimes overlook the small little imperfections on our face and then notice them vividly on the next time? See, self-perception isn't about looking yourself in the mirror. It's about shaping yourself as a person. Take a moment to look around in the audience. See, each person here is in the middle of their own world, their own little universe. And as an individual, we are the most important piece in our puzzle. But we don't fit into another box. Misconceptions about self-perception always show up, like the topic of interests. We all have a set of things that we enjoy doing, and when asked for an introduction, most people will list their favorite and non-favorite things. But that leads to a problem. Interests don't tie up with the personality. If you're passionate about something, it'd be invisible to the naked eye unless, of course, you wore your favorite team's jersey to school or work every day. It's important to realize that interest is not an actual worthy substitute for personality. And because personality is more about your traits and less about your interests. Another thing about self-perception is the way we talk to ourselves. When addressing the mirror, it's so strange yet feels so natural to address the same being, to tell it stuff and react naturally to it. Nothing's more powerful than the psychological impact of calling yourself your name in the mirror. That by which we call a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet, is a quote in one of Shakespeare's most famous plays. In this quote, it argues that a name is just a name and therefore has no other meaning to it. If you know the meaning of your name or the significance of why you were given that name, think about it and really think if that name describes even a fraction of what you think yourself to be. The truth is, individuals don't have a deep, pre-existing knowledge about themselves and instead will rely on their behavior as a source of information. When given research, only 10 to 15% of our human population said that they were truly self-aware. Let that sink in. If someone observes that others are behaving in a certain way, they will adjust their self-perception accordingly. And this is called going with the crowd. And it's the ultimate test on our morals. Now, if you're a person that thinks they have a strong set of morals, you'd know when you're contradicting yourself, and that would stop you from, in any situation, doing what you deem wrong. If your morals are as slippery as you are, then you'd find it harder to differentiate between do and don't. The truth is, individuals experience discomfort when their actions and/or beliefs are inconsistent, and then instead will align their self-perception accordingly and create loopholes for themselves. saying just this one time without actually having a proper set of morals. Now, my cousin is currently studying clinical psychology and is an intern at a lab. We had a conversation about why people lack proper self-perception and can lead to many disorders like good child syndrome, imposter syndrome, multi-personality disorder, and in even worse cases, bodily and facial dysmorphia. It's an art of over-convincing ourselves to be something we're not. I've come across so many people that they were convinced they had depression. Put off by some tragic event, they kept making themselves more and more disheartened, and some of them actually did contract borderline depression. Now, after this conversation, we came to the conclusion that when we don't have healthy relationships and even meaningful conversations with our loved ones, we don't have anything to push our self-perception into. And that creates a big loophole where we began questioning ourselves and isolating ourselves from other people. Now, returning to our two friends, self-perception and truth. What if there was a way to merge these two together? What if we were able to create a mirror like truth using self-perception? Now, by harnessing the power of self-perception, I believe that we ourselves can break through the limitations we impose onto our characters and to develop a set of morals so strong that they unwaver at any external devastation, and to have healthy, authentic relationships with those around. And the damaged, fragile hand that belongs to truth can rise up to meet the everlasting palm of the sharp delusion, and hand in hand, they can walk to show you not who you think you are, not who you want to be, but you as you truly are. So the next time you look in your mirror, try to figure out how much of you is really in there.